Welcome everyone to TJ Speaks. I am your host, TJ. Today is, let me just double check because I'm a very busy person, June 12th, 2023. Okay, let's get into it today. Okay, I wanted to do this show because, over the weekend, you hear a lot of nonsense. You hear a lot of people talking about Trump, Trump, Trump. But you know what? The real story is the story that blew my mind, and it took some time to process this. Um, is the story concerning Joe Biden, President, alleged President Joe Biden of the United States, have evidence of receiving a $5 million, I think up to $10 million payout. And this was discovered by the FBI some time ago before the election. And, this is blockbuster. There are receipts out there allegedly that the FBI is holding on to that shows President Joe Biden collecting $10 million in just one transaction of bribes that occurred in Ukraine. Okay, folks. So we're going to get into that today. So let me begin. Okay, I'm just a U.S. citizen, a rather regular person. Work every day, do the right thing. So I would come across this story, and of course, quickly, the media comes in and play interception. Oh, they got to talk about Trump. Oh, immediately Trump is indicted. But that's not important. We've seen this story already with Trump. We've seen this play out. Okay? They indict President Trump every other day. So that ain't new. What caught my attention, because I'm not a slow person, was the fact that the President of the United States collected $10 million in bribes, and the FBI has evidence. Um, this makes it, this is not no longer, this takes it not from alleged, or this is evidence. This is hardcore evidence. When there is bank receipts, transaction receipts of President Joe Biden taking $10 million bribes. Okay. So, you hear the story out throughout the years. You hear the story about his son, President Biden's son, Hunter, having a job in Ukraine on some gas or electric, what I think was oil company. He was paid in as an executive, which is, odd because the man doesn't have no experience in oil. From my take as a regular person, I looked at the interview that Hunter Biden did a few years back on I think it was ABC, one of the networks, in which he spoke about he got the job because his father was the vice president at that time. And I said, wow, listening to Hunter, he's not a very intelligent guy. This guy is kind of slow. Yes, he's on drugs. And I've seen a lot of people on drugs, known a lot of people, seen a lot of people on drugs. This guy is slow. He's not an intelligent individual. So here we got a slow man who happens to be on crack and cocaine and whatever the hell else he on, working overseas in the very same country that his father was. When his father was vice president, he was in charge of the international affairs with Ukraine. And I remember listening to President Obama, talk about how Joe Biden, he's going to be the point man in Ukraine. And this is just stuff that you listen to passing by. You really don't give a damn what's going on in Ukraine, but you just listen to it. So, after listening for a number of years, taking everything in little by little, I was said, I was shocked. I was shocked, Mom. My whole life I grew up thinking that, the President of the United States is the most smartest, the greatest person. This person's the most honest individual and whatnot. And all of that turned out, fast forward to 2023, turned out to be a complete lie in this particular incident with this particular president. Um, it's pretty obvious. I'm not a detective. It's pretty obvious that President Joe Biden, son, got that job in Ukraine at around the same time America was giving out foreign aid to Ukraine. America was, I believe, I have it here. Let me take a look at this article where America was giving Ukraine $1 billion in aid. Okay, I found that very interesting. Um, America gives Ukraine $1 billion in aid to oust the corrupt prosecutor. The very same prosecutor that was investigating, turns out, the company that his son worked on. See, when at the time when Joe Biden was bragging about getting the prosecutor fired in exchange for the aid from America, he never mentioned that his son was working on the board of the company being investigated. And suddenly, Joe Biden finds himself in Ukraine, and his son, Hunter Biden, the crackhead, found himself in Ukraine. Now, people, come on now. My people, my American people, come on. We got to know what kind of deal this is. You in Ukraine. Now, your son got a job in Ukraine. Now, you know something funky is going on. Something real funky and fishy. Your whole family members decided, well, hell, there's a lot of jobs in Ukraine all of a sudden. Never was in Ukraine before. But the moment Joe Biden got that money and control of that money and that aid to Ukraine, his son magically pops up right in time for when the check is cashed. So U.S. taxpayers are paying their tax money. All this money going to foreign aid. And people in our vice president office and our Congress are sending their children, not little children, grown ass kids, over to these foreign countries to work on these executive boards that just so happen to get the money. So our tax dollars flying overseas and landing in the pockets of the children and sometimes the congressmen and the vice president's own very pocket. We send the money, they'd be right there to collect. That money somehow gets transported back into the vice president's pocket and their kids. Now, I've heard of Nancy Pelosi kids did this too. She had either a son or daughter over there in Ukraine as well. No wonder our Congress don't want to investigate Joe Biden. Maybe our Congress don't want to investigate Joe Biden because just so happens that all of their damn kids, a number of them, are in these foreign countries on these executive boards that's receiving the aid from U.S. tax dollars. Makes complete freaking sense. Now that you think about it, it makes sense. We give the foreign aid. This is why we need we need a real president. We need President Trump. Okay? Because if they had this kind of dirt on President Trump, he would have been under the jail already. See. The reason why the media gotta scream and yell and carry on, because maybe they kids in it too. Maybe their kids are getting that money too. Foreign aid flies overseas, end up in the media people pocket. We know the media got a big tax break by Joe Biden that they don't want to talk about. They don't report that in the news. So they got some type of sweetheart free money deal. But yeah, this shit is obvious. Come on now. We all know what time it is. This is straight out of The Sopranos. For real. And that's sad because integrity Going back to my previous banner, integrity matters. Integrity matters, folks. And the reason why we say, reason why it does matter, because really, first of all, we all have a job to do. Just because you're not the president doesn't mean you're not important. And most of us have integrity. And most of us work for jobs and organizations that require, guess what they require? Integrity. My job, for instance, even have integrity tests where they will go send detectives or beakies out to see if you're going to take a bribe, to see if you're going to steal their money. Okay? And not for one, I understand that. And at first, like, oh no, but I get it because you don't want criminals and close to finances. You don't want a bunch of criminals, people that steal and take bribes, controlling the bank and the money. And that's why banks have a big security apparatus. Banks do this all the time. They got security cameras. They watch their workers. They make sure their workers not taking bribes. Business deals, transactions. Well, if you're an executive, you're not supposed to be taking a bribe in order to do a transaction because you get inside deals. Okay, that means you're not looking out for the best interest of the business. You're thinking about your own pocket. So it is very, very concerning that the now president, he was the vice president when he was taking the bribe money. Now now he's the president of the United States in charge of the money jar, in charge of the cookie jar, and he takes bribes. He's not thinking about us. He's not thinking about our security. That's why we got all these people at the border. Because I'm pretty sure if he took the money from Ukraine, which the FBI got evidence on, then he took the money from the Mexican cartels too. Long as you got a check, you can cut the checks to Joe Biden, all of a sudden favors come your way. The media get tax breaks. Wow, how'd that work? They donated money to Joe Biden. Now all of a sudden in the tax bill, and they donated money to the Democrats heavily, now the media got tax breaks. This is like a whole big corruption fest. Everybody's motherfucking corrupt. The media's corrupt. They lying. Of course you lying when you got a tax break money in your pocket. Some type of sweetheart deal they got. I gotta look that up when I get a chance. I'm gonna look up the money that the media receive. That's why Joe Biden gets such favorable media coverage. Congress just passed a bill. The last time they passed the bill where they helped out all their friends, in the media. Looked out for them. The Joy Reids and everybody else. We are dealing with some real incredible corruption, and it's disturbing. And I don't trust these people at all. I don't trust nobody. I don't trust the president. I don't trust the media. I don't trust none of these people. I don't trust Congress. Congress always sitting on sitting on their hands. And I believe they kids is on the deal too. I think they have family, friends, husbands, children, on these executive boards and these foreign countries, and everybody collecting money. And they want us to trust and believe them. Well, I would start to believe you, maybe, which I doubt, if you actually did something about this. You got the receipts. A crackhead with no experience suddenly receiving $10 million between him and his father. They both, and I think the granddaughter was in the deal. His ex-wife was getting paid. His brother getting paid. Goddamn, was they paying the puppy too? All this is going on. He's at the top. This guy is at the top. This is some scary shit, guys. This is scary. Then we got some some red cloud over New York City and Philadelphia, all the major city areas. Some red cloud from some alleged wildfire that happened 900 miles away. Now, how the hell we get a red cloud when the fire was 900 miles away? That don't even make no damn sense. And since when fire is red? A lot of funky shit is going on. A lot of corruption is happening. We're witnessing the corruption in real time. DOJ indicting President Trump again. First they did the lie about the Russian hoax. Now we again indicting the same guy over and over again. Meanwhile, the media is corrupt. Joe Biden is definitely corrupt. And they even got the receipts to prove it. It was an article and reported about a year ago. And this is how you know it's true. You know it's true about Joe Biden, speaking as a regular civilian. It's true that he took bribes because I think a year ago they was talking about how Joe Biden and his when he reported his presidential income report, there was an extra $5 million that he could not explain, which so happened to match the same exact amount of money that the FBI have receipts for, where he received a bribe from an oligarch in Ukraine. So the same money that was unaccounted for and unexplained on his presidential income report was the exact same $5 million that the man wrote the check out to when he wrote the check out to Joe Biden. He wrote it to Joe Biden's name, and Joe Biden's son was on the board, and he got a $5 million check too, even though he smoked crack every day. Now, we all supposed to believe this is hunky-dory. These people are criminals, and they in charge of all our goddamn money, and that's why you need to be concerned. Every American need to be concerned. These people are in charge of your money. These people are collecting your cash. These people are criminals. You cannot let the criminals be in charge of the cookie jar. You cannot feel safe around criminals. They will sell you out. You are not safe. With the right amount of money, your own government probably send the military on you. No wonder they got the IRS, 87,000 IRS, going around with marching guns, talking about stick them up to the taxpayer. Stick them up, people. We are living in very dangerous times, and our president do not have integrity. And if we have to have integrity for a job that only pays $15 an hour, we have to have integrity for a job that only pays $15 an hour. Well, God damn it, the president of the United States should have integrity too. And it should be no receipt of $5 million, total $10 million to him and his son. For no work, they have no business. They don't sell no products. They selling us. If I gotta have integrity, goddamn, he gotta have integrity too. He just as bad as me. Shit, I might as well be the president. He ain't no better than me. Sitting there walking around with some presidential seal, acting like we gotta respect him. I ain't respecting him. He just as a criminal as everyone else. He's worse. He making the most money. That's not fair. Want me to? America has lost respect. I can't respect this country. I cannot respect this president. I cannot respect the DOJ because they keep chasing after the same one guy. All right? We know these people are criminals. Nancy Pelosi going around getting her hair done during the pandemic. How come none of them died from the pandemic? That's another show. They old as hell. And none of them goddamn bastards died. So, America, wake up. Smell the shit. It's coffee and shit they serving in the morning. But this story about Joe Biden, y'all need to pay attention. Because he got all your money, all your retirement money at his fingertips, ready to get robbed. You sitting up there like a clown, working every day, thinking you building something, and you got the thief in the White House. You can say whatever y'all want to say about Trump. Trust me, if he stole some money, they would know about it. He would have been arrested already. He put a piece of paper in the air. They already locking him. They ready to lock him up. That guy President Trump must be the most honest man probably walking in the United States because he got the most investigations out of everybody. He did the most everything. They investigated this guy. I mean, goddamn, they probably was in his toilet bowl checking his shit. So this guy, I mean, I haven't met President Trump, but he must be a really good person because he had the FBI, CIA, DOJ, and Joe Biden can't get one investigation. They got $10 million from a bribe from a foreign country receiving aid from America. Ukraine receives billions of dollars of aid from America, and our president has been already caught taking money. So all this money goes to Ukraine today. When we are crying about our budget and our debt, it's going to the very place that has already bribed the sitting president of the United States. The chances of some of our money, of that aid, that $5 trillion they done send Ukraine, ended up in Joe Biden's pocket and all the Congress people pocket, is very, very real. It's most likely all that money is getting transferred over to Ukraine and ended up in their pocketbooks because they all have children on the board. See, Joe Biden, he's just so dumb. Him and Hunter, they just blew it up. They don't want to talk about it because they blew up the whole scam. The whole scheme has been blown up by these two imbeciles. The Congress people always get rich miraculously. Even AOC, she got rich. Like 2 years ago, she gets into Congress. 2 years later, she got $30 million in the bank. Now we know why. They all sign off to the aid, foreign aid to Ukraine. And they all got their boyfriends, their best friend, their mama, and their cousin on the boards of these places, and they getting checks through them. Sometimes they even write the checks directly to the Congress people and to the vice president. No wonder they all millionaires. Nancy Pelosi, her husband, he's a stock genius. Every time he turns around, he picks the correct stock that triples the price, quadruples in the value. Goddamn, he's a genius. This place is a joke. And until we, the people, start demanding some investigations and indictments of these people, it's never going to stop. They need to indict President Trump, impeach him. Let's see President Trump, not President Trump, President Biden. They need to indict President Biden. Let's see if President Biden can withstand the scrutiny that President Trump has already withstood. Let's see. I want to see the receipts. I want to see the investigation. I want to see the Congress people on TV, the same bullshit they made President Trump go through. I want to see President Biden survive it. I want to see President Biden do exactly what has happened to Trump. And let's see if he's innocent. Put the evidence out there for the people to see. So it's every man and woman for themselves in America, because evidently our president is a crook. And our vice president, well, she ain't even American, and she a drunk. So it's a mess. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm going to pray for this country, because if our president is a criminal, we are done. We do not look like no leader of no free world. We just look like a bunch of corrupt people. This guy is representing us. And if you're an honest, hardworking, good person, that criminal, Joe Biden, should not be your president. And our Congress, they just as bad as he. Because they're not doing anything about it. Everyone see that FBI report. They know more information than me or you. And they ain't doing nothing because they all criminals. They all collecting money from the foreign aid being conveniently sent overseas. Well, then they conveniently send their family members over there to collect. And that's why everyone making $200,000 a year magically get $30 million in 2 years. AOC. Never was a genius before to make $1 million, but suddenly she gets in Congress, she's a millionaire. But you didn't hear that from me, folks. Have a great day. Take care.